Hello everyone and welcome to the TIPWeb-IT 10.5 enhancement release. And there's some really great features specific to one-to-one distribution that I'm excited to talk to you about today. The first one, as you see on your screen, is the district settings update that has taken place for the auto transfer student inventory setting. This is an existing setting, but there's been some updates to it that we will look at here shortly. Additionally, you will see I have admin view issued to students as well as site view. I know, exciting piece with the admin view, but there's some additional really helpful pieces at the site view as well. And then of course, some really great pieces with the admin view being able to overall, in a nutshell, issue to any student from any site within the my district, as well as issue an asset to that individual, no matter where they are. I can actually issue an asset from any of my sites within my district. And if it is at a different site than where my individual is currently at, or the site that I'm trying to distribute from, it will create a transfer for me. So definitely some great efficiencies there. Also, and we'll get to see this really when we walk through issuing to students, is the opportunity to issue and even collect by serial number. So our focus today will be on the issuing side, but just know we'll get to see that will also take place in the collection area as well now. Also, tags grid update. So there's been a few columns added that you can actually apply to your tags grid to help with that kind of one-to-one distribution and or even collection from those students. And then as we're talking about that, returned devices reporting. There are a couple of existing reports that you're now able to utilize the status of returned to pull some data from. And then we will end with receive transfer by serial number. So you definitely see a commonality here with serial number information. A lot is going to take place today, everyone, and I'm definitely very excited. So I'm going to go ahead and pull over my screen. I'm in the admin view of the application, and under management, I'm going to go to district settings. And the first area I want to go to is inventory management settings. And this is the feature here right under student inventory data, everyone, automatically transfer student inventory data. So again, this is a feature that has been in place. This is the concept if you're utilizing, of course, your SIS integration, where it updates the location of your students on a nightly basis. If at some point a student transfers from one site to another, or graduates up from, a lower level to a secondary level, let's say, and you have this checked, it will, of course, the student will be updated at the current and the actual current location, so they'll be moved. But if you do not have this checked, then their assets will not move with them. If you have it checked, then it will transfer all assets that are currently issued out to that individual as they progress on to the next site. So it's definitely a preference of the district and your policies and procedures if you want students to keep those assets kind of throughout their life cycle with them, or if the assets are kind of more specific to each campus and so they need to collect them. So what has been addressed here, everybody, is this scenario was circumventing the process for restricted funding sources. Instead of going through the process of getting those approvals for that funding source approver, when you move assets from one site to another, the approvers will not having to approve. So what has been updated is the application now is ensuring that if it is a restricted funding source that that asset is tied to, then that asset will not move with that student, even if you have this checked. And if an individual wants it to move from one site to the other to go to the student, they're going to have to go through the typical transfer process, which includes those approvals, of course. So definitely I'm glad to see that update to this specific feature. I know that will be beneficial for many of you. The next feature I would like to talk about is under user role settings is actually where we're going to start, everyone. This is the opportunity for site level individuals. We're going to start with site admin to be able to, of course, with the right permissions, they're able to issue any asset in inventory to any student within the district, and then potentially being able to perform a site-to-site transfer automatically. And the way that this will begin is ensuring that these are unchecked. By default, they are going to be unchecked. So the first one is restrict from initiating and receiving tags when issuing to staff and students. So that relates to being able to automatically do a site transfer to get a device from any location within your district to the location that you're trying to distribute from. The second option is restrict from adding students from other sites when issuing to students. We'll get to see this when we issue from the site view for a student, where if not restricted, I have the opportunity to actually look up any student within my entire district to issue to them from a given location. Now, I have the same opportunities with the site user right here, the third and fourth opportunity. So the main key here is ensuring that if you do not want a certain role, so maybe a site user, maybe a site admin, or either, to be able to conduct these processes, you're definitely going to want to come in and check these, okay? Now, if you do want them to be able to conduct these pieces, then you're going to want to ensure they're unchecked. And then I would just come in and double check to make sure that yours are not, and click on the green diskette to save, of course. So once that's complete, I would X out. And the next step is going to be, of course, issuing to students. And again, I'm still at that admin view under admin tools, issue to students. So when I first come in, I will need to, of course, have a student ID number, everyone. And let me go ahead and first, though, show you some pieces that take place with the when I go into search. So yes, of course, if you have their ID, you have one of our great barcode reports from the students area, or if they could tell you their ID number, you can definitely apply it within the field and you know, go that route. But I'm going to show you the binocular opportunity first. And I first need to search for my individual. I happen to know it's my student Ryan Held right here, but I want to show you something. So Ryan at this time is actually at two locations. Here he is, it's the 186 ID, and you see over to the right, he is at Learning Campus, which is actually his home site, technically, everyone. But then Ryan has another device issued to him at another site, as you see here, Charles Bailey. So yeah, yes, I know you probably don't typically have students, you know, at a bunch of different locations typically, but for today's purpose, I want to make sure that I can show you how you're able to kind of manage through distribution from that centralized location. And then if maybe it's not from the centralized, it's from campuses, but you end up with some devices that are not at your actual campus, what can you do to kind of address those scenarios so you can quickly issue devices to students, as we're all just trying to you know, be safe and be as you know, efficient as possible during these times for distribution. So if I realize, yes, I want to distribute from Learning Campus, I would select. And then it updates Ryan's information, lets me know that he is at Learning Campus. Now, if any reason I realized, oh, you know what, I'm actually, that's his home site, but I need to change that site because I'm distributing from, we'll say, Charles Bailey. So then I can change the location here. So I do have opportunities there. Actually, though, I think he was at Charles. Let's go ahead and do Bright Elementary. So let's pretend that Bright Elementary is that that centralized location where I'm distributing from. And so I potentially your maybe a virtual site, and it says COVID distribution location. And so we'll just pretend that's what mine says here for Bright Elementary. And then my tag serial opportunity. So right here, we're going to get to see how we are able to begin to use the serial number to distribute, everyone. So that's that other feature that I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste. Of course, as you know, it is definitely a much more effective way for definitely streamlining processes and ensuring no inaccuracies, or at least less, if you scan those tag numbers. Just for today, I'm copying and pasting, but please know scanning is going to be the best rule of thumb for all of us, is utilizing scanners. So something you're going to notice right away here is my tag number, but you see that I have a serial number also applied here. So I can choose to utilize the tag or serial number, and then I would just click on the save, or if I scanned, it would actually save for me. So another nice efficiency. And then right below everybody, I see I have a monitor here. So maybe I'm giving out extra monitors for my students. It's in use, and transfer is 5158, everyone. So right there, I can see that a transfer has been completed for this specific device because it resided on a different location than the one I had selected here under site name. So that's just one great scenario, everybody. Something else I want to show you is if I scan or start to type in the student's ID, look at this here. It's going to show me the list of sites that this individual is currently on. So Ryan is at Learning Campus, he's at Charles Bailey, and he's at Bright Elementary. So now if I choose Learning Campus again, click the down arrow. There we go. And it captures Learning Campus. So I'll say, yep, he's on the correct campus. Now, again, if I just did his actual home site and I issued a tag that is on that site as well, Learning Campus, it's going to be the typical process that you're used to seeing, everybody. In this scenario, I'm just showing you those other opportunities as you're just trying to quickly distribute out. So in this scenario, maybe he is at his site, but the actual tag is not currently at that site. So I'm going to use Charles again, and I'm going to apply that serial number. So we see the serial number, and look at here, everyone, it's highlighted, and it shows me that tag number as well. So again, that opportunity to utilize tag or serial number. And then here it lets me know I have another monitor in use, and actually that one shows a transfer because that device still needed to be transferred from one campus, right, Charles Bailey, over to Learning Campus. Okay, so now I want to show you what the status history will look like with these varied scenarios, everybody. So I'll go ahead and start off with my last one. And that's my T9180. Here's my serial number. Now it is at Learning Campus, that is where Ryan, his home site is, right? But let's go to status history. And you will see several things happen here. The first time that this asset came in, it was at Charles Bailey in room 1001. I then did a transfer, and it lets me know the source of Charles Bailey. It lets me know status notes, admin view, issued to student. And then it tells me the destination information. So it was placed on a transfer, 5159, to go to Learning Campus, and it tells me the date and who completed this action. And then, of course, it will tell me updates to the status, goes to in use because I have issued it to an individual. And then over to the right, it lets me know that it was issued to Ryan Held at Learning Campus, everyone. So right here, you start to see how the status history is going to give those updates. Now, if this tag was just issued maybe, again, on the same campus, make sure I get the right number here for some reason. It is not working. There we go. There we go. I would see the typical process for that specific device, but each of these ones, I kind of did something to just show you how the application is going to do such a great job. This was another where it started out at Charles Bailey. It transferred over to Bright Elementary to be issued to Ryan Held, everyone. And then the great tag lifecycle report for each tag will have all that great information for you as of all the actions that took place. So I definitely appreciate that about the application. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and X out. And let's go ahead and hop right on over to the site view of the application so we can see this in action at the site level. Just a reminder, if I do not have the permission set, or if it is restricted for the site admin and or the site user, I will get notifications that let me know if I try to do these specific actions. So if I try to issue to an individual that is not on my campus, it will let me know that I do not have permissions to add a new student to my campus. And then of course with the side of the transfer piece of a tag, it will let me know that I don't have permission to initiate and receive transfers within the issue to students area, everybody. So I'm on Learning Campus. I'm gonna go to issue to students. I need that student ID, so let me go and grab my friend Ryan again. Now I'm gonna hop into my search actually first. So I can start by looking for Ryan. And it shows that I have Ryan at my campus, right? So here's his ID, grade 9. He's supposed to be, his homeroom is 112. Great. What if I realize, no, actually I'm supposed to be distributing to Ryan at a different campus, or maybe I need to distribute to a completely different student here. Let me just show you. If I said Gonzalez, enter, but I'm looking for Jared. So I type in Jared. He's not here. So then my opportunity, I can say show all site students. And right here, here's Jared C. Gonzalez, and he is at Jackson Elementary is where he is supposed to be. So as you see, I can definitely search for my individuals that are at my campus, but if a student were to come up to me and give me their information, their ID number, and I see that they're not at my campus, I can quickly click on show all site students to then expand my search to the entire district. And just a quick note, when I do so, if you notice grade, home, but when I click on show all site students, it populates that site name right there for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose Jared. And the application is also going to do its best to notify me the student record does not exist at this site. Proceeding will add the student record to this site, of course. And it lets me know that Jared Gonzalez, his home site is Jackson Elementary, okay? So it doesn't have to tell me, or I don't have to choose my site because of course I'm on my campus, right? So I'm distributing for the campus that I'm currently on, everybody. So let me go ahead and if I utilize a tag that I already have at my campus, I've issued this one already, we'll double check. No, it did not grab, 1 second. All right, we'll attempt that. There we go, serial number. Let's see if I have issued this one yet. I did not, or else it would let me know. But it lets me know it's a latitude 13. I know that's a laptop. And then over to the right, because I issued to Jared at my campus, and the tag was on my campus, or the device, it's just going to be a transfer from room 507 and will be issued to Jared right there, everybody. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and look at this tag. I'm going to show you this really quickly. So 5446. And it lets me know it is in Jared's hands at Learning Campus. And then if I go to status history, it lets me know that this device was in room 507, right? We saw that at Learning Campus. And then it was transferred from 507 to Jared, still at Learning Campus, everyone. So right there, you see Jared is now at my Learning Campus, and I've issued a device to him quite easily and quickly. So I'm gonna go to issue students one more time. And I need to go ahead and show you now Jared's information. So if I show all sites, and I'm gonna go ahead and look up Jared, and I'm gonna do Gonzalez. Now I see Jared twice here. So we're starting to see a pattern, right, from our admin view, everybody. Now I see that he's at Learning as well as Jackson, so I can choose the correct location that I need to distribute to him from. And then if I were to, of course, choose a tag that was not on my Learning Campus, I would see the source of transfer again right here. So I know we already went over that a couple of times on the admin view, same concept at the site view, but I wanted to make sure to show you that piece with the site level where they will definitely be able to show all site students on their portion. The next feature I want to talk to you about is in the tags grid. So I'm going to go ahead and X out of there. And this can be seen at the site level as well as the admin. So I'll go ahead and continue on the Learning Campus. So my site, so go to tags. And then I need to ensure that I have added the columns to my blue grid header. I actually have, so I'm going to show you them first. Over to the far right, everyone, you see I now have the opportunity to add grade, email of the student, as well as parent email. Now, of course, to add my data set, I click on go, and it's going to pull up all data for my specific campus that I'm currently on, everyone. And then I'm going to go ahead and do, ascending, descending. I'll do 2 clicks, actually. And here you start to see I have my grade, so 9 through 12 or 12, and then I have email for the student. And then if I do not have email for the parent or the student, it'll just be blank. So then what's really nice is when I go to run maybe my tag listing report, I will get to see those columns now in that report. So let me pull that up. I'm just gonna, oops, that is not what I want to do. There we go. Make sure I get it right. Let's try that. There we go. So now I see my grade. I may need to do some formatting. And I see my email for my student, even more so down here, as well as that parent, everyone. Then at that point, I can, of course, utilize the Excel filters if I so like, but I have this great report that I can pull. And then additionally, I of course have those opportunities for one-time emails as well as within saved searches, being able to have those emails sent to myself on a routine basis, everybody. So just to ensure that you know where to go to add those columns, you go to edit columns, and then they would be under the unselected columns, and to add them, you just click on the specific one that you would like, and then you utilize the arrow to shift over to the right to selected columns, and then you'll see I had added destination site. And so just that quickly I can add, and I can even remove, so destination site has been removed from the selected columns. There's another report actually that, and a majority of our reports honestly retain what the column headers are as well as the content that you have within your grid. So once you filter down, you alter your your grid headers, then what is produced within the reports will be specific to what you have filtered down. So I'm actually going to progress to the next feature, everyone, which is being able to now, through the status lifecycle report, see that status of returned. So let me go ahead and pull that up. And this is the opportunity for, as those devices are being returned from staff and students over a period of time, you can now report on it, everybody. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, and you see I have to, these are both red fields, means required. I need to add some information here. So I will choose returned, and then what date range. You have opportunities of today, yesterday, last in so many days, 7 to 90 days. I'm gonna go ahead and choose 10 years, just so that I can grasp a good amount of information. Click on go. And I will pull my report. So now just a note, if I had filtered down my grid, maybe something on the lines of all students that show a certain grade, like 12, like we had seen, and I run the report for return status for maybe the last 30 days, let's say. The report would only display, of course, those devices that had been in the status of returned within the last 30 days. So if there had been none, of course, my report would be blank. But of course, it's going to grab every single time that an asset was placed into the status of returned within that time frame, everybody. Now, there are times, like you see here, I have Mike Jones several times here, where it may be, oh, that's who scanned it, goodness sakes, over to the far right here. Scanned it for each of these individuals, Catherine, Kristen, and so forth. But every time that a tag is placed into the status of returned, it will be added to this location. There we go. So tag number 3007, I have it twice here because at some point it was put into the status of returned for Kristen M. Abbott. So definitely a great report to start off with. Additionally, everyone, I can pull a very similar report under the students area. Again, I can filter down, so I could say 12th graders. And then I can specify by the drop down for reports, student inventory status. And these are not required, so I can definitely just run this specific report, but I could specify, of course, the return status, since that is the one that we are focused on at this moment. It's that new opportunity. And date range, I could choose a date range, or I could just leave it completely open and say go. And then once I come in, it'll have my site information. It's going to have my student information as well. Additionally, my product, so product name, model, and so forth. Here's that tag number. And then over to the right, it lets me know the status of return. So every time in the students area, I can see when, let me rephrase that. Every time or an instance that a device was put into the status of return, so it's been collected, right? It will be applied to this report. All right, great. So let me continue on, everyone. We've already seen the opportunity to issue utilizing serial number. Please just know if you were to go to Quick Collect, I'm just going to show you very quickly here. I now can utilize tag and serial number as well when I'm quick collecting. And then the other feature I want to make sure that I talk about is the opportunity to search for a serial number when you are in the process of receiving within the application. So I'm going to go to my home screen. You can definitely utilize your quick links under transfer tools. I appreciate having the opportunity for transfer notifications here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on transfers ready to be received. And I should have one, so I thought, let me see here. It's in transit. Let me go ahead and grab this 5034. And then I need to expand the tagged inventory, and I need to specify the room on my campus. So I'll grab my 1001. I can choose a new status if I wanted to maybe put it into available, if it was in some other status, or in repair and so forth. I can do that, but I'm going to utilize use previous tag status. And then let me go ahead and grab a tag number, which I actually, let's see, it's T4023. Now, if it had a serial number, see how it lets me know that. So I can utilize, again, the serial number and or the tag number, everyone. And then go to X out of there, or click out, click the green diskette to save. And then it has now, of course, received. So as you saw, I utilized tag, but I could easily use the tag number or the serial number. And then also it lets me know vice versa. So if I utilize tag number, it lets me know what that serial number would be. And serial number is not always required, right? So there may be times that you do not have a serial number, and it's going to communicate that to you, everybody. So definitely some great opportunities there in the application to start to really utilize that serial number. All right, everyone, well, those are the features for the 10.5 enhancement release. We had some great pieces as we're looking at ensuring that features are working as we expect them to with the auto transfer student inventory setting, being able to issue to students at the admin view, which is a new feature, as well as a site view, which is not new, but they both have some really wonderful efficiency pieces as we look at being able to issue to any student from any location within my district, and then also being able to issue a device that is at any location as well. Also, we got to see some really great tags grid updates regarding the grade, as well as the email for the student and the parent, as long as, of course, they're within that student account. We also got to see some great reporting with returned devices reporting at the tags grid, as well as the student grid as well. And those are going to be those status kind of inventory reports that we saw, everybody. We also did, and just make sure I capture this piece, we saw how we can utilize serial number when we are issuing as well as collecting. So being able to really start to utilize that serial number. Additionally, utilizing serial number, we are able to receive via serial number within the receive transfer process. We had it previously with initiate, but now to kind of close out loop, we get to see that with the receive transfer side as well, everyone. So thank you so much for being a part of the TIPWeb-IT 10.5 enhancement release, and we look forward to seeing you all again soon. Please remember you have unlimited support. Please reach out to our support team with any questions you may have, support@haysoft.com, and or of course check out our support center where you can find some great information, including this recording. All right, thank you all. Bye-bye.